Welcome. In some denominations, you'd make a trip to the pastor's study for answers to the really tough questions. Well, let's see what we can do here. Hello. Merry meet and blessed be. Depending on how you got here, I'm Aidan Odinson, High Priest of the Temple of Gaia, or Bishop Cal Lippitt of the Universal Episcopal Church. And for that matter, the Universal Gnostic Fellowship. Either way, welcome to another session in a very different pastor's study. You know, over the years, there's no particular group of people that I've made fun of quite as much as the Pollyannas. They're basically the same kind of people that Wiccans refer to as fluff bunnies, always trying to make the world ever so happy, and why bother worrying about anything, and so is going to protect us, etc., 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 etc. And in God's time, etc. Whoopee! Ain't that sweet? No, it ain't. And I use the ain't for a particular reason. But Pollyannas and the ignorant in general, among other things, have been known to give such fabulous, simplistic advice on matters where there's more at stake than what they address. Yeah. One example that I experienced beginning in grade school until something happened in high school that gave me an alternative was ignore the bullies. Ignore the bullies. Guess what? The bullies don't get ignored. Yeah. And then I remember when I was about 14 and I had a bad case of acne, there were these people who were telling me that really all I needed to do was learn to wash myself properly and keep myself properly clean, especially wash my face properly, and that won't happen. Well, not according to a board-certified dermatologist. It wasn't going to happen like that simple. No. No, it wasn't going to happen that way. You got here a couple of examples of advice that sounds oh so simple, but the advice is not true. It doesn't work. And so often, such sickeningly simple bits of advice turn out to be that way. And I have a feeling that each and every one of you can come up with maybe several examples of exactly what I've been talking about as it happened in your life. Well, you know what? There is one place where simple solutions do fit in, and they work. There's some of them are so simple that you would think that it came from a Pollyanna. And you'd be looking for somebody coming straight out of Pollyanna land with whatever a Pollyanna smokes to get that way. Yeah. You know what it is? Yeah, it works. And it's very valuable. And that is some of the solutions that you apply ahead of time to keep some issues from happening. Yeah. The answers to the questions that if you ask in time and get the right answers and apply them, the issues won't be there in the first place. What I talk about, that I mean here? Well, first one that comes to mind is treat other people like you'd like to be treated. Would you really like that kind of a prank pulled on you? I remember somebody that I worked with quite some years ago. He thought it was funny to tell me that, oh, your paycheck isn't here because the managers are coming to give you a pink slip. I didn't think it was funny. Funny thing, a couple of days later when he was out of the office and somebody was looking for him, when he heard that I told the person that he had an appointment with his parole officer, he didn't think that was funny. Why? I mean, he thought it was funny to tell me I was going to be fired. Why wouldn't it be funny for me to say that he had to go to his parole officer? Treat others like you'd like to be treated in the first place. Various things won't happen. If you take an oath, mean it. And don't break it. There's another one. And I can think of a lot of examples, and so can you. Oh, I know what you're first thinking about. Marriage vows, of course. But what about when you get on a witness stand in court and I do solemnly swear? Or if you take an oath for a job you have? Yeah. Support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, etc. Yeah. If you take an oath, keep that oath. And of course, don't tell lies and answer questions directly without evasion. There's a lot of people in government who would need some practice in that, I think. But those are some very basic principles and very simple ones that'll keep people out of a lot of trouble. I try to keep them in mind. I remember David Frost in his rather famous interview with Richard Nixon. And Richard Nixon made a comment about Watergate. He said that the trouble didn't come from Watergate itself, it came from the cover-up. And yes, what's that old saying? Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Well, of course, because you got to have a lie to cover up a lie, to cover up a lie, to cover up the lie that you lied, to cover up the lie, etc. Pretty soon you have to take notes on yourself to remember what you said. Either that or you have the failing memory like so many government people have and who don't remember what happened at a particular time. Yeah. So, the simple things may not be your way out of a situation, but the simple things can be a way to keep you from getting into one. That's your thought for the week. Merry part and merry meet again. Blessed be. I'll see you next week. This has been a presentation of the Wise Ones Net. Merry part and blessed be.